Hi, this is Cheryl at Sea Spirit Tarot, and I'm taking part in Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot 220. I wrote it all down. I have a list. I didn't write down the name of it, and I'm making these videos and I'm going to load them. This is going to be day 4, so it's going to catch me up till tomorrow. And I do a reading every day, a Thoth reading, usually anyway, unless I do something different like a muse or whatever I decide to do. Because like I told you, I'm doing, this is the School of Cheryl that my guides sent me to do. And I hope I can find the spreads when they actually sent me to show you later. So these are the 5 most used tarot decks. Oh, 210 to 219. This time we get a decade to work. And that's okay. That's good. So, my most used tarot decks. First of all, is the J.J. Swiss Marseille. And I bought this after, I can't hold all of these cards. After I studied online with Vincent Passati. And he said, if you can read a Marseille, you can read them all. And never having been, I learned right away. I mean, no one knew any different. And then I bought my girlfriend a Thoth deck, and it was like so different. We didn't get it. We didn't get a lot of things. Anyway, I bought this J.J. Swiss deck. And I want to tell you, when I did my Council of 7, with Ouroboros, verbal response. This is the card when I need the answer. You want to ask me a question? This will be the answer. When I do a personal read, this is usually the answer. These are awesome cards, the Marseille. You've never dealt with the Marseille, and I know people say, oh, there's nothing there, but there is so much there. They are so rich. They are so rich for interpretation. And of course, there are so many schools of numerology. But I just kind of use a quick one. Like 6 would be experience. So 6 of wands. Ace of Pentacles. I've loved the hell out of these cards. They might not show so pretty on screen, you know, I mean, people want the flash, but these cards speak. One of my old holdover decks that I remember, this is a right-away deck, sitting on the tailgate of a pickup truck doing my laundry in Wisdom, Montana, which I lived out of Wisdom, Montana. That's like maybe 200 people live there, and it is... 75 miles from a town of 5,000. It was 150 like to Missoula. I mean, it's way up in the mountains. This is my old dragon deck. And I believe that the dragons came in a couple years ago to help us clear out our dark spaces, to give us clarity. So I use my dragon cards quite a bit. These are old dragon cards by Terry Donnelly. If you ever read fictional fantasy, he wrote a lot of dragon books, and I could never get into his books. And I can't get into the book that goes with this deck either. But I guess I should have dug that out to see who the artist was. I do like to use these cards, especially as clarifiers, because it's all in the vibration of the visuals. So I'll just show a few. The world. I want the world, and I want it now. I've appreciated these cards so much more now, but I use them a lot for clarifiers. Knight of Coins. One more. Wheel of Fortune. So, my old dragon cards, they're still being used. They're all warped. They're all crazy. I love them. The other deck, let's see, that was Dragons. That was J.J. Smith's Marseille. Of course, I mentioned that what I mentioned on the video, a deck I would like to have. And a wonderful woman in Washington gifted me these cards. Just blew me away. Brand new to the community. And I know I see everybody sending packages back and forth to each other and doing all this stuff. But on many of those channels, you know, you can even kind of interact, but they got their own little groups. So that's another cool thing about these responses is, you know, I hate to see different groups form out, but there'll be subgroups in the groups. So that's pretty cool. This is A Deviant Moon by Patrick Veranza or something. I think I would buy anything that he had. These cards speak to me. I grew up in Houston, Texas. These cards remind me of society in the industrial realm. I was a psych nurse. I was a prison nurse. I worked on the reservations. These cards speak. And they speak anything I've done lately. I've been using them mostly for, I'll do a reading and I'll do one for the general consciousness and then I'll do this one for like the world or universal consciousness. But the other day I pulled one. I think it was the Eight of Cups. It's like, I didn't fill those cups because they didn't have integrity and I'm out of here. And then my girlfriend noticed, she says, well, she has on an empire waisted dress. She's an empress also. I mean, these cards, and I can sit down with these cards. When I was first started studying, I would take 2 cards and I would like make a story between them, right? Tell a story, flip 2 more, tell a story. But these cards, I actually will just sit down with the deck and go through the cards and tell a story. And each time I notice more and more of these cards. Deviant Moon. Don't let them put that shit in your cup you don't want, you don't need. Now the other 2 most used decks I have, and this deck here, I want to go through and write the planetary aspects. When you're in Golden Dawn, each member of Golden Dawn makes their own deck of cards. And that is why Crowley's cards ended up so special, because Lady Frida did such an exceptional job. Now these Dion Fortune cards I bought to study the Wheel of Life, the Spears, whatever. But these cards talk to me. They talk to me a lot. Of course, I read a lot of Dion Fortune. And these cards are partly just, photos or collages. Now, see this card here, Unstable Effort. I was always, when I first started coming back to tarot, I was going to cut these cards. I was going to trim them. Well, I said I was going to trim them. But I'm finding that though not everything here is the same as the Thoth deck, very much of it is. And as I study the Thoth deck, I have a whole awakening on these cards. So these are actually Golden Dawn cards also. So you're working with the magic of the Tree of Life and the Golden Dawn. But they're working with the elements in the same way. But like I said, they're partly collage, partly what looks like almost foolishness, partly kind of like Marseille, King of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, Harmonious Change. So I have really, really, really enjoyed these cards. But I want to go through, since they're my cards, I need to sit down and go through and write the planetary configurations on them. Because I think that makes all the difference in the world when I read the cards. And I don't know them all. My other top deck is another one that's been sitting on my shelf, and I gave it away. And then Natalia at Ouroboros was saying stuff about it, and I had just quit the nursing. When I was working 14-hour nursing, 16-hour nursing, I was just cooked. So I've gotten into the Thoth deck, the Fool, who's actually Pan. And what I really enjoy, I'll go through and I'll pick out like three phrases, maybe up to 5. This is the Uranus card, of which we already know. But it's also, I learned it was Pan. We got the Emperor, it's Mars. We've got Luxury. This is 4 cups, and this would be the Moon in Cancer. So, if you know the Moon, if you know the astrology of it, and then which decan they're in, and I'm slow, I'm learning. I give a Thoth lesson every day because I'm learning the cards in the school of me. Ever seen a more phallic card than that? I mean, this doesn't even have to be censored. Look at that. Prince of Wands. These cards are awesome. So, these are the cards. This Queen of Wands, she's got a jaguar. Crowley says, and the unfortunate, I'm sure, is that, you know, in the last 2 eons, which are a million years, the last one was Osiris and Isis. This one, I forgot. The one before that was, I can't remember. See how good I am at my lessons? But we're entering, now we're in the age of Horus. The age of Aquarius started in 2000. So Rider-Waite went through and put snapshots of pictures on his. But when you go through these Crowley cards, you're getting like Venus and Scorpio. I mean, these are oracles and tarot. These are amazing, amazing, amazing cards. The Prince of Wands. We did the Devil, didn't we? How did I lose that? He puts for the temperance art. Look at that Ace of Cups. Wheel of Fortune. So if you're a Crowley fan, you know what I mean. But I've just really been enjoying doing the Crowley deck. Now my Dean Fortune deck that I bought to study Hermetics makes sense to me because the Crowley has taught me how to use it. The Deviant Moon, I don't have time. We don't have time to screw around. It is time. It is time now to become who we came here to be. Put on your red dress, baby, and pick up that sword of truth. Take that fish of that cup of love. The colors are gorgeous. Anyway, those are my 5 most used decks. And what did she say? She gave me a decade, but I've really only been back to the tarot not even a whole year. So we'll just go with this and be grateful. So this was number 5. No, this is number 4. January 4th. That is tomorrow. If you came to my School of Me and you sat through this, I thank you very much. I apologize. It's 14 minutes. I want to keep them short because no one wants to sit there forever. Blessings, good tidings, unconditional love is the answer. I am that I am, and I know that I know. Thank you.